Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bristol Township. This is the official Bristol Township meeting start, September 16th, 2021. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, especially for all our military personnel here and overseas protecting us. Our men and women in blue who protect us 24/7 from the crazies, and also our emergency personnel who will run in and run out anytime and protecting us day in and day out.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's great to see everybody. Before we start the meeting, we met in an executive session.
Yes, Bristol Township Council met in executive session at 6 p.m. this evening where personnel, litigation, and township real estate matters were discussed.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Bowen,
Here.
Vice President Murphy,
Present.
Mr. Antonello,
present.
Mr. Blaylock,
Here.
Mr. Glasson,
Here.
Mr. Monahan,
Here.
Mrs. Wagner.
Present.
Monthly reports are available for review in the Township Manager's office. Public comments will be taken on land development and official action items. General comments will be taken during opportunity for residents to address council. Next, we have a public presentation. We have the swearing in of police officer Stewart and a spell. Chief Colton, it's great to see you.
Hello.
Good evening. How's everybody?
Great.
It is a great day. Council President Bowen and members of council, once again, on behalf of the men and women of the Bristol Township Police Department, I'd like to thank all of you for your support and continued support since my tenure here, as well as Manager Elton. We really appreciate everyone in the police department appreciates the support that we get from our elected officials and also support from our community. Over the course of the COVID-19 restrictions, we've continued to hire police officers, replacing those officers that retired. In fact, we've hired 8 new officers over the course of the COVID restriction period, and this is their first opportunity to start swearing them in. So for the next couple months, we're going to do 2 officers each council program. So tonight, we have in attendance Officer Andrew Stewart and Tyler Aspel, here to be sworn in by the Honorable Judge Frank Peranto, sorry about that, of Court Number 2. So, I don't know where I got that from. Yeah. Officer Andrew Stewart, please come up. You stand right here. Officer Stewart was born in the United Kingdom and was educated in the UK and France. He graduated from the University of Manchester, England, first studying medicine and then mathematics, ultimately earning a degree in mathematics. Andrew wanted to become a police officer his entire life, but his first profession was in the information technology field, where he traveled the world extensively, ultimately moving to the United States and settling here. Officer Stewart eventually started his own successful software company. Officer Stewart maintained his strong desire for public service and the dreams of becoming a police officer. So to accomplish his dreams, he entered the Temple Police Academy, graduating in 2020. Officer Stewart speaks multiple languages, loves meeting people, while having a passion for problem solving. I am certain Officer Stewart will put these skills to good use while serving the Bristol Township community for many years to come. Officer Stewart is married and he has 2 children, and his daughter Ava will come up and hold the Bible for the swearing in. Ava?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me. It's always an honor to come over across Route 13 and help out my friends in Bristol Township and my constituents here. So even though it was late notice, I managed to shave up a little bit and look presentable when I go over here. That's why I thought I was Chank. Raise your right hand. You're going to repeat after me. I'm going to say I, and you're going to state your name. Don't say like the fireman, state your name, okay? I do solemnly swear I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and I will enforce the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the ordinances of Bristol Township. I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity, integrity, and honesty, without consideration to a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability, as a police officer with the Bristol Township Police Department. So help me God. Congratulations, you're so sworn.
Thank you. Good job. You did a great job. French was the first one. No way. Yes, it is. I actually first went to school in France. No, okay. I was your second is German. Wow. And then I learned Portuguese. Hello. That's phenomenal. Congratulations. Thank you. We're going to huddle up. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. I'm glad you put it together. Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you very much.
Did you guys want to get one? We'll send it. Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Good job. All right. Officer Tyler Aspel, please come on up. Officer Aspel was born and raised in Bristol Township. He's from the Indian Creek section of Levittown. Officer Aspel graduated from Truman High School in 2014, and he joined the Army National Guard at the age of 18 as an infantryman, serving from 2013 to 2019. Officer Aspel graduated from Montgomery County Police Academy in October of 2015. Officer Aspel served as a Philadelphia police officer from 2018 until 2021 in the 17th District in South Philadelphia. Officer Aspel is excited now to serve his hometown community, and he plans to raise his family here in Bristol Township. We look forward to Officer Aspel serving and protecting his hometown community for many years to come. Tyler's father, Paul, will be holding the Bible for his swearing in. Mr. Aswell?
As we're doing this, it seems like every year the oath gets longer and longer because we start to recognize other people who are very different than we are, and it's a good thing, you know. I just hope that it doesn't get to the point where we have 2 pages of it, you know, because then people will fall asleep in the back of the room while we're doing this. Raise your right hand. State your name.
I, Tyler Aswell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will enforce the laws of the Commonwealth
and that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
and the ordinance of Bristol Township,
and the ordinances of Bristol Township,
and I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
integrity,
integrity,
and honesty,
and honesty,
without consideration to a person's race,
without consideration to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability
handicap, or disability
as a police officer
as a police officer
with the Bristol Township Police Department.
with the Bristol Township Police Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, you're so sworn.
Thanks for staying.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Thanks, sir. Good to have you. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to meet you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dad? Excuse me, sorry.
Thanks, sir.
I mean, with your son.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
On just the three. You okay? Oh, do you want this to read?
I only speak one. I speak a little bit of South Philly now. So just English. That was great. Just English. Thank you. That's great. I learned to let's get out of the way.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, council. Thanks, sir.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thanks, sir.
Again, thank you again tonight for all your support, and we'll see you next month with another 2.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief Colton. Pleasure, and thank you for new officers for coming on to Bristol Township. We really appreciate, and what a great asset you're going to be to the Bristol Township and its residents. Thank you. Okay, next we have public hearing and presentation of Community Development Block Grant Program 2020 CAPER Program.
So thank you, President Bowen and all of council. I will be quick. I've done this presentation now for 6 years, every year on the CAPER, and it's the same language. As everybody knows, we're an entitlement community in Bristol Township. We receive money directly through the federal government through HUD, and with that, we administer the CDBG block grant program here. It provides an annual grant on a formula basis based off of population, and the funds must meet a national objective criteria. The 3 national objectives are for benefit to low and moderate income households, elimination of slum and blight, and urgent need. That you're required to have 2 public hearings a year. One is for the action plan, which sets up what we're going to do with the money, and the second is for the CAPER, which is saying what we have done with the money over the last year. In 2020 fiscal year, Sorry? I don't know why. Okay. In 2020 fiscal year, which is from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020, we received $636,200, and we had carried over $354,000 from the previous year. There are certain requirements. There are a lot of requirements from the federal government. There are certain requirements from the federal government, and some of them are a timeliness test. We have to make sure that we're benefiting low and moderate income households. We are not allowed to spend more than 50% of our funding on public services, nor a matter of more than 20% on administration. So 2020 was a very slow year for everybody in the township. We had to halt all construction and anything that we were planned on doing because of COVID hitting us in March and the shutdown, with all construction projects being shut down. So originally JFK Park, which is now under construction, was planned to be under construction in 2020. We did about 10 homes in emergency repairs, which we usually double that per year. And most of our funding was spent on CARES Act and coordination with the county from all the CARES Act that we did receive from local governments or the federal government for COVID-related issues. So, the housing has the criteria of low and moderate income household, female households, disabled, elderly households. These are items that we have to monitor throughout the year for our eligible activities. And finally, just talks about the things that were done last year in 2020. And again, as we said, it was primarily the CARES Act funding and figuring out what to do with that in coordination with the county. So under the consent agenda will be a resolution for approval. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a public hearing presentation of substantial amendment to the 2019 CARES Action Plan and 2021 Community Development Action Plan.
Thank you. So I will be very brief on this as well. Anytime you're making a substantial amendment, which is more than 10% of any activity that was approved previously by public hearing with community input, or any new activity or removing an activity must go through a substantial amendment and a public hearing. So as I said, when we received all this CARES Act funding, it had very strict regulations and limitations, and there's been a lot of moving parts. We finally think that we have a final plan. Then we received the State and Local Fiscal Recovery Act that did allow for infrastructure improvements, which we had in our action plan. So, we're just trying to, make the best improvements for the community with all the money that we've been fortunately receiving, and making sure that it is spent in a way that that takes us to be able to do all the projects that we hope to do. So what we're doing in the CARES Act funding was we now have a program that is for K through 5 school. Another entity has come in and had done a program, CAPA program, that we've talked about before. We got approval with. They're at the Schumacher building, 1248 Schumacher, or Murillo, and so we would like to upgrade that because and we can use some of the CARES funding for outdoor space and for HVAC and ventilation So that is some of the items that we're changing in the CARES Act funding, as well as the purchase of the property next door has become, or that's some of the funds we're requesting to change. And the purchase of the property next door has become available, and we would like to purchase that and add that to the community center there so we can make a parking lot. And then we're able to do that too by removing the funds that we had for the sewer improvements over from the State and Local Fiscal Recovery Act. We can pay for it out of there. So we have all that funding to modify all these changes. So if I can just quickly show you the proposal. I think everybody has seen the proposal for the front of the building on 1248 Murray Low, but I'm not sure if everybody has seen the proposal for the rear of the building. So this will be the outside area, kind of like an amphitheater, and just so that social distancing can take place. The interior will be upgraded, the facade will be renovated, and the CAPA program is underway. It's been going for 3 days now, and the kids that are there and the community involved is very excited. So again, these were substantial amendments that we'll submit to HUD for final approval. Public hearing, and resolution will be on for the consent agenda as well.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. I have been instructed to slow it down a little bit by my handler. So there's quite a few things on here, and I will slow it down because I have a tendency to speak real fast. So this is a consent agenda. A is consider approval of voucher lists and requisitions dated September 16th, 2021 in an amount of $3,034,828.67. Consider approval of August 19th, 2021 council minute meetings. Consider resolution approval of Bristol Township 2020 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, CAPER, and authorizing its submission to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Consider resolution approving the Bristol Township 2019 CARES Act and 2021 Action Plan substantial amendments and authorizing its submission to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Appointment of Fire Police Kim Cunningham to the Croydon Fire Station. That's congratulations, Kim. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for Green Light Go grant match funds for traffic signal upgrade of New Falls Road and Edgeley Road intersection, Edgeley Road and Mill Creek intersections in the amount of $250,000. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for flag and flagpole installation at the Municipal Complex in an amount of $13,445. A resolution, the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for traffic and criminal software system for marked patrol cars in an amount of $26,610. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for athletic field safety netting for turf field located at the Municipal Complex in an amount of $56,000. Resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for a 380-gallon diesel crack sewer repair trailer for Public Works Department in the amount of $53,899. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for a traffic signal detection system upgrades at 8 intersections in the township in the amount of $65,000. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application for the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for firefighting PPE for the Township Department in an amount of $19,500. Resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for new medical equipment for Bucks County Rescue Squad in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for AEMT certification advanced training for Levittown Fairless Hills Rescue Squad in the amount of $20,000. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for firefighter gear replacement for Edgeley Fire Company, amount of $19,998. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for emergency backup generator for Levittown Fire Company number 2 in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorized Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for pager and equipment replacement for the Croydon Fire Company in an amount of $20,000. A resolution authorizing Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for gas meters, thermal imaging cameras, ladders, K-12 saws, vent saws, voltage detectors, and 2 pagers for 3rd District Fire Company in an amount of $19,513. A resolution authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for replacement of concrete bay ramps for the Newportville Fire Company, amount of $20,000. A resolution authorizing the towns against graffiti tag to submit a grant application to Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks for participation in intergovernmental agreement for graffiti removal and litter program, an amount of $175,000. Resolution authorized application to the 2021 PICO Green Region Open Space Program for the Municipal Park Tree Buffer and Replacement Tree Project. A resolution authorizing a reserve handicap parking area at 2408 Fleet Wing Drive, Levittown.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Was that better?
That was
Okay.
great.
Thank you. Thank you. So we need a motion.
That was Mary?
We have Mary Ann Wagner made a motion.
I second.
Cindy Murphy made, Mary Ann Wagner made the first, Cindy Murphy made the second. On that motion, is there any questions on this wonderful page? Wes, come on up.
It is now. It is now. K, the grant application for upgrades.
Name and address.
Okay, Wes Retzler, 504 Western, Bristol.
Thank you, Wes.
Okay. What are the 8 intersections in the township? K.
What's that?
Well, you said New Falls and Edgeley.
No, that is
That's
for
something else.
Grant.
something else.
That was something else, yeah.
That's Green Lake Road.
Oxford Valley at Olds Boulevard, Bristol Pike at Cedar Ave and Walnut Ave, New Rogers Road at Bristol Pike, New Falls Road at New Rogers Road, New Falls Road at Durham Road and Zimmerman Lane, Bristol Pike at Newportville Road, and Veterans Highway at Ford Road and Newportville at Ford Road.
Okay, I just figured the people might have wanted to know.
Thanks for clarifying that. And on that motion, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a report from Township Manager.
Thank you. I do want to just provide some updates since we have had another storm since our last meeting. And the township is, again, in receipt of this state and local recovery fiscal funds, and very fortunate to be able to put $5 million towards storm upgrades, infrastructure upgrades, and $5 million towards sanitary sewer upgrades and infrastructure improvements. We did have, $5 million in totality for sanitary. We do have some upgrades that I would just like to mention around the JFK area that we're going to be actually able to do and submit the invoices and the reimbursements going out. We have also televised over 10,549 linear feet of sanitary sewer in the township with repairs and slip lining. We are set to televise another 90,000 linear feet. Some lateral replacements. We've replaced 1,800 linear feet over in the Bath Silver Lake area, or Silver Lake's service area over on Bath Road. We have manholes on JFK Park that are going to be replaced. Gilmore is still working on and should have finalized in a couple of weeks swale behind JFK Park to be directed towards plans for a swale behind JFK Park to be directed towards the wetlands area versus going towards Veterans Highway. And then we're also moving on to the storm sewers, and we just received a quote for 270,000 linear feet to televise and clean of storm sewer. We are working on mapping systems for our GIS system for both the storm and sanitary. And Public Works has been busy as well and working with our consultants, blocking a 50-foot drain on Lafayette School property on Winder Drive, removing approximately 2 tons of sediment and debris. Now the water free flows. They've also prioritized draining and video cleaning and outfalls throughout the township, Magnolia Drive, Browns Lane, Steel Avenue, Newport Road, Avenue C, and numerous head walls on township properties. So if you see them out there, they're actively cleaning. It's not just before storm events. We're trying to hit every inlet of the 4,000 inlets in the township. And then, we're going through, with the newer Public Works Director, myself being newer in the township, we're learning, and we're going through different areas that we've now learned are easements, drainage easements, and we're going in and cleaning and removing any silt and sediment that are in those as well. So we've been busy. Again, the July 12th storm, it was a travesty. It definitely hurt a lot of properties, but on the one end, it showed us newer people in administration where we need to prioritize our time. And again, we're very fortunate with the state and local Fiscal Recovery Act to be able to do that versus a 20-year capital plan. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Next, we have a report from Township Solicitor. Scott?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. It's glad to see everyone tonight. Good to see everyone. We really have nothing to report, nothing to report on for the township, so we're good to go.
Moving on, we have new business. We have an application of Ideal Trans LLC, 324 2nd Street, Suite 18, Southampton, PA, requesting sketch plan review for the property located at Clydeway Drive, lots 5 and 6.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm another Ed Murphy.
Yeah, great to see you, Ed. Usually when you're here, you're bringing something in.
We're here tonight to present a sketch plan, or to make you aware of a sketch plan that has recently been submitted to the township and which was the subject of a hearing earlier this week before your zoning hearing board. Ideal Transportation is a company owned by Frank Rajabov, who's seated in the front row. Frank is a native of Uzbekistan and who emigrated to the United States and already has a existing owned location in Bristol Township where he operates a trucking terminal. He also has leased space in Lower Southampton Township and leased space in Morrisville Borough. Lower South is where he has some back office employees. Morrisville, he has some truck repair and mechanics there. He'd like to consolidate those operations in Lower South and Morrisville to Bristol Township, to a property down the street on Clydeway Drive where he already has his existing location. So Frank is looking to continue to expand his business. He has also been in touch with the township staff to look at yet another property that has been an enforcement issue in the township. We'd love to acquire that and continue to grow in Bristol Township. So like our friends at Okna Window, another situation where we have immigrants coming here being successful in Bristol Township. We want to do, Frank is another example of that. So the plan that's on the board is what we showed your planning commission the other night. The property total, it's 2 parcels that we're going to consolidate, little less than 4 acres. There would be a new 6,500 square foot building where the back office employees from Lower South would move to. We also have a repair area in that building where the Morrisville operation would relocate. There's also 50 stalls for trucks and another 16 for employees. So we got some relief from your zoning hearing board Tuesday night or Monday night that enables us to now move forward with land development plans. So hopefully in the coming months, You'll see our land development plans, and we'll go through the normal course with your planning commission and council to hopefully have them approved, and with the idea of hopefully breaking ground next year, or first or second quarter of next year, and we're all good. And you have any questions for Frank or his development team with us tonight, we're good, but otherwise, we hope to see you soon, and we welcome the opportunity to make you aware of what we're doing. Happy we're here already, looking forward to expand and keep expanding, so, all good. It is one removed from this one. What's the address? 1498. 1498 Clydeway Drive.
So he's already there.
Yes.
And doing truck repair too?
Yep.
At that location, right?
Yes. And the parcel that your staff has had some issues over the year with is immediately adjacent to this, and if we could get it, we'd have 3 in a row. So that's.
I'm not familiar with that parcel. What is on there now? What's existing?
You know?
The one directly adjacent to the
Yeah,
property?
yeah.
It's building materials,
I know.
garbage.
I think it's outdoor storage and,
That'll get cleaned
We'll
up.
just drive by.
well, we would love to buy it and clean it up. I know Tom's office has had a difficult time enforcing it. I think it's an estate now, so it's largely in disrepair, and we'd love to clean it up and consolidate it, so. And our piece that is tonight is the last undeveloped piece in the Clyde Wade Industrial Park.
That would be good.
It would be
Just,
really good.
what would be the volume, how many trucks would be parked on the property at any given time?
Probably the max would be 50, Pat.
But he would have that many there, they would be there,
And I should say, and we were questioned the other night at your zoning hearing board, the principal material that these trucks would carry back and forth is dry goods for Amazon.
Okay, so-
Not on a retail basis, but wholesale. We would be.
Yeah, and so it's covered trucks, they're not flatbeds?
Nope,
Got it.
right. But it's dry goods, principally dry goods. It's nothing hazardous or otherwise uncomfortable.
Good luck with the project. I'd like to see you move expeditiously. Good to see you, Ed.
Yep, as
All
always,
right, bring
guys.
it on.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yep,
Good
we'll
night.
see you guys. All right, hope to see you soon.
Yep, thank you very
All right, thank you.
All right, next
hold on there. Next, we have 2022 financial requirement minimum municipal obligation for Bristol Township Police Pension Plan. Ms. Elton?
Thank you. This is the time of the year that we have to set our standard for the coming year's minimal municipal obligation. This is to fund the police pension plan in whole. So the minimum municipal obligation for the township to fund for the police pension plan is $845,108. And a motion is in order.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sidney Murphy.
I'll second it, Chris.
Second by Joe Glasson on the motion. Is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a 2022 financial requirement minimum municipal obligation for Bristol Township pension plan.
And this is for the non-uniform pension plan.
Okay.
And this is they're all based off of W-2 payrolls. So for the non-uniform, the minimal municipal obligation is $119,246. And a motion is in order, please.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Patrick Antonello.
I'll second.
Second by Sidney Murphy. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a bids for Bucks County Consortium 2021-22 rock salt.
Yes, thank you. The consortium, Bucks County Consortium does the salt bids, and the recommendation from the consortium is for Morton Salt Inc. at delivered price per ton of $57.88. And a motion is in order, please.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Patrick Antonello. Second by Mary Ann Wagner. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have bids for traffic signal upgrades for Edgeley and Mill Creek Roads, yay, and New Falls, Emily, Woodburn, and Edgeley Roads. Consider to take appropriate action. We have a definite motion by Marion Wagner.
We would like to advise what the motion is, or.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about that. I was about to say that. What do we got?
Right.
Exactly. The public needs to know
Yep.
that we put these traffic signals out to bid, and this is, as you said, those two intersections is also taking into account the upgrades that we will then be reimbursed for the section of Aldi that was supposed to be done when it was bottom dollar. And the low bid was from Armor and Sons Electric, Inc. for $757,000.
That's for all of them.
That's for both of those
Yeah,
intersections.
those two.
So we have a motion by Marion Wagner.
A second.
Second by Patrick Antonello on the motion. Is there any questions about the traffic upgrades? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have other businesses. Is there any other business? Okay. Next, we have comments from council members. I'd just like to make comment, we had our grand opening last Saturday. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was beautiful. You got to give credit to Township Manager Jessica Parks, or Parks and Recs.
Jessica Fox.
Jessica Fox. I'm tired. It's been a long day,
All
Yeah.
of them,
you know?
all the employees.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to go through Jer and Dana. Yeah, Park and Recs. Okay, it was a beautiful day. They did it was just a phenomenal job. It was great.
all the
All
vendors.
our representatives showed up. It was just a great day, and I thank everybody, the township workers, everybody from the township putting that together. It's just getting better and better every time we do something. It's just phenomenal. It's a beautiful park, and it came to fruition, and it's just gorgeous. So just want to make that. Anything else from,
I have one thing, Craig.
what?
On
Yes,
the-
Joe.
On the fire end, I just want to bring out that we had a issue in the Mill Creek section a couple weeks ago, might even be a month ago now, of a really bad house fire at one of the recovery homes. And our engine on staff here, once again, it was an early morning call. Wasn't as early as the previous one where they made a rescue. And thank God this one, I think one guy had already jumped out the second floor window, but Kevin's, Dippolito's crew, there quick and did a fabulous job of stopping the fire and saving that house from going to the ground. So just want to give the fire crew their kudos from that job.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Right, you know, since you brought that up, Joe, part of the problem being the lack of smoke detectors in that recovery home, and
Bodies.
way more people than was licensed for.
Right.
So I know the township's looking into that, a whole new round on the recovery homes, right? Yep.
Good point, Pat.
And
Good.
Ray, down the other end there, Ray, anything I want to add? Okay. All right, thank you. We do have some fun up here. You know, we don't really get paid for this, so trying to bring a little humor. And Randy Elton, she just shakes her head. So next we have comment, opportunity for residents to address council. And there's a 5-minute rule. So first one we got is Frank Walsh. Frank, come on up.
Green's on, is that on? Yes. All right, name is Frank Walsh. I live at 11 Swan Lane, Levittown, Pennsylvania, in Stony Brook section. First of all, you people up there like to get all the credit for doing all the good around here, is that right? Yeah, Mrs. Elton here seems to be the one that does it all. Okay. Okay, well, Mrs. Elton does most of it there, and it was Mr. McNally before that. All right, McCauley. All right, on the May 20th meeting, Mr. Solicitor, you allowed a resident to name addresses and people's names at a meeting in this room. Well, it wasn't in this room, it was actually a Zoom meeting, but you allowed that to happen. That should have been stopped either by you or Mr. Bowen, and I don't understand what happened there. But names were given out, and addresses were given out, and that's not right. All right, let me go on here. solicitor addresses fellow residents. All right. Okay, now at the same meeting, you, Mrs. Murphy, you basically called every resident of the township jerk-offs.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I have it on my phone if you want to listen to it. Every street in Bristol Township has a jerk-off on it. That's exactly what you said. Well, who is? Who's on your street? I know.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I still don't understand why you were asked to tender your resignation. I mean, somebody should have asked that because you did say them words to everybody. So I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay, I guess everybody was watching TV. I guess your position puts you above the residents and the voters. All right, the same meeting, my dryer vent was brought into question. The neighbor said my vent is 10 to 12 feet off the ground, yet it impermeates her backyard with dryer smell. All right, let's see how many educated people we have here. This is physics. And we'll take winter as an example. You look at your dryer vent. Where does the smoke go? And nobody knows. I mean, if you look at your dryer vent in the wintertime, it goes up. So it's impossible for it to travel 10 to 12 feet down to the ground and impermeate somebody's backyard. Nobody questioned that. And the woman also stated that it eliminates her work at night because she can't do her work. She doesn't work at night. Her work at night is gardening, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. All right. Yeah, let's see. No, I still don't understand, Mrs. Murphy, why you're still sitting up there. All right, Mr. Antolino.
Antonello?
Antonello. Sorry, you said at the council meeting, that, and it's again, it was a Zoom meeting, that you would spend any amount of money to prosecute me.
Excuse me?
You did. You said we will spend any amount of money to prosecute you. And you asked Mr. Holbert if we're going to take this to Doylestown because he said I was in the middle of a court action. You said that. I have it on tape.
Okay. It's out of context, what you're saying right now.
Okay.
So if you want to watch the whole tape and put it back in context, I'll be happy to respond to it. But making a statement like that without context is useless.
No, the context is exactly there. It's exactly
No,
what
there's
you
no
said. We will
context, Frank.
spend all
Frank,
township
context,
money.
context, Frank.
You said
There's
we
no
will spend all
context.
township money to
Before and after that statement, no context, Frank. You can make as many statements as you want like that, but without context,
Okay.
you're meaningless.
I'm meaningless. You're right. And you heard that, you people out there, if anybody else is listening. But yeah, we're meaningless. All right, so in other words.
What's the point? Has action been taken against you, Frank?
Oh, I did get a $300 fine on that one situation, which I gladly paid. That's no problem, Mr. Holbert.
Okay,
did his
then
job.
what's the issue?
I had 6 other appearances in court. 3 of them in Doylestown, all found not guilty. How many thousands of taxpayer dollars were spent on that? How many thousands? This is not hundreds, thousands.
I don't know, Frank, do you?
No, I don't. Mr. Holbert knows.
File a right to know.
Yeah, I did that once. It doesn't happen. All right. All right, I think that's about all I got to say right now. But I'll be back. My time is almost up. I got I'm going to stand here for 30 seconds. You know, basically, you probably should look into solicitors. I mean, you have had to say, all right, here's a question. And this is for the solicitor.
Oh,
Sorry, Frank. Have to come to the next meeting.
thanks. We'll see you in the next meeting.
All right.
Next, we have Wes Wrestler.
I happily watched that meeting. And I did see
Name and address for the
exactly
record,
what was
please.
said. Oh, okay. Wesley Retzler, 504 Western. I detected the attitude in that voice, huh, Scott?
No, I'm speaking with a mask on. I'm making sure it gets through to the
Oh,
microphone.
okay. So I wondered the same thing. How come nobody put a petition out there to have Cindy Murphy removed after what she said? and I know who she was talking about. And the guy she was talking about lives a block and a half behind her house. And nobody said nothing about the karaoke parties at her house until 1 o'clock in the morning when the police are called. It's enough of that. Anyway, that's enough of that. Hey, that's my time.
No,
That clock's
well,
running.
You're saying my name.
That clock's
So,
running.
no.
It's my time.
They've never been called to my house.
Yeah, that's my
They've
time.
never been called to my house.
Anyway, Suzanne Newsom said it all right before she went to jail. In fact, that's
I'm
probably
sorry.
the reason she went to jail.
Who's Su-
She was the
who's
township
Susan-
manager here at that time.
don't
Don't be
remember.
taking up my time.
I just don't
Anyway,
remember.
she said, some people pay and some people don't. It depends on who you are. And some people can get away with things and some people can't. And it depends on who you are. And Mr. Antonello did say that we will actively pursue people with township monies. Now, what they do is they selectively, actively go after people with township monies. They don't go after people right one house after the other. They selectively pick and choose who they're going to go after.
Normally, it would be people who are violating a township ordinance. That's the only people that are,
And that's what I say. One house, you pick one house and let the next 10 go.
no.
I just turned in 13 complaints today to give you something to do. I'll go back through the ones I turned in 2016 and 2017. Next month, I'll tell you which ones you didn't look at. Now,
I await those with bated breath.
yeah, well, I got copies of them time-stamped, sir. I'm not stupid, and you all know that. And you all love that I'm here.
Wes, by the way, when you're at my property down at the end of the street today and you backed up, don't back over my curve and go on my grass. It's not what,
I didn't go on your grass. I
Yeah.
was at Joe Raymond's place, didn't go on the grass. 1 foot off. Okay? Now, I see that you finally got a couple of your police officers, probably not the right ones. And they told this guy Flanagan that it was Mancuso. And I'd probably have to say it wasn't Mancuso. It was probably Kevin Burns. It's known for being arrogant like the guy said he was. And you all know who Kevin Burns is. You finally got rid of him. Now, your township officials, your township director of L&I, Thomas Scott, your township police officer, Grabowski, and Sean Cosgrove, they ignore court orders. A subpoena is a court order to show at the court. And if you violate a court order, you should be charged with contempt of court. But not our officers and not our township director. They got immunity, right? Now, the township police, or township L&I is coming out, and the people that they're harassing mainly are veterans and handicapped and elderly. And they want to dictate what you can and can't have in your yard and what you can and can't do with your yard. And again, that depends on who you are. Now, Mr. Hobart's put here by Mr. Flegger, and he's following Flegger's footsteps. It says, Flegger says, just do whatever it takes. Whatever you got to do, just do it. They don't care whether they lie in court or what. The best liar wins. That's how it works. Now, Fleming, your inspector, Bo Fleming, he's coming out and he's harassing elderly residents. I talk to people. You know that.
Wes, thank you for coming up. It's good to see you
Yeah.
again. We'll
Yeah.
look forward to see you again. Have a
Was the
great
first-
day and
this
great
was the-
evening, and thank you so much.
This was
All
the
in
first
favor?
meeting open to
All
the
in
public,
fa-
right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Yeah.
Said this was the first meeting open to the public, right? No. Oh, okay. So I missed a couple, huh? So, no, I'm talking about open to the public, like come up and stand up here. So, you know,